Claire's boss, Richard, ensured that our names were on the exclusive guest list for his country club's annual fundraising gala. It was a prestigious event, a night of fine dining, expensive wine, and high society mingling. We knew we had to dress to impress. I rented a classic black tuxedo, making sure to tie my own bow tie, a small personal victory. Claire, however, outshined everyone. She chose a stunning silver, backless gown that cascaded elegantly over her curves, shimmering under the chandelier lights. That morning, she had splurged on a high-end styling session at a renowned salon, spending hours perfecting her makeup. The result was breathtaking. As we stepped into the grand ballroom, all eyes followed her. The atmosphere buzzed with lively conversations, the clinking of champagne flutes, and the soft melody of a live orchestra playing in the background. Claire eagerly introduced me to her colleagues, who all seemed just as polished and refined as the event itself. "Thanks for coming, Nick," Richard greeted me with a firm handshake. He exuded confidence and authority, dressed immaculately in a tailored tuxedo. My eyes caught the bright yellow plastic bracelet wrapped around his wrist. I noticed several others wearing the same accessory. Before I could ask about it, Richard continued, "And thanks for letting Claire up on the block." "Excuse me?" I asked, certain I had misheard him. Claire turned to me with an apologetic smile. "Oh, didn't I mention it?" she said, tilting her head slightly. "People bid on a date with me. It's part of the fundraiser. That's how we got in without paying." She had definitely not mentioned it. Before I could react, event staff ushered her away. My confusion and irritation simmered beneath the surface as I was led to our designated table. The moment I sat down, a server poured me a glass of red wine. I took a sip, trying to process what had just happened. Then the spotlight hit the stage. Claire walked across the platform with a poised confidence, her silver dress gleaming under the warm glow of the overhead lights. "The bidding starts at $500, the auctioneer announced. Hands shot up immediately. 600. 700. Do we have 8? 1,000, someone called out. The number continued to climb rapidly. By the time the gavel struck, the final bid stood at $2,200. A polite round of applause filled the room. Claire's face lit up with excitement as she was led off stage. That was when I noticed it. The yellow bracelet now dangling from her wrist, identical to Richard's. I glanced around, suddenly aware that several men at our table, including Richard, also had those bracelets. One by one, they rose from their seats and casually walked toward a discreet exit at the back of the ballroom. "Where is everyone going?" I asked, turning to Darla, Richard's wife. She was a striking woman with sharp features, wearing a sleek black dress with a high slit. She swirled the champagne in her glass before glancing at me with mild amusement. "You mean you don't know?" she asked, arching an eyebrow. "No," I said firmly, my gut twisting with unease. Darla sighed, taking a deliberate sip of her drink. Then, with a smirk, she leaned in slightly. "They're going to sleep together," she said, her voice laced with amusement. "Men, women, everyone in the firm." My stomach dropped. "Shut the hell up," I muttered, barely able to comprehend what she was implying. She gave me a knowing look. "If you don't have a bracelet, security won't let you through that door." I shot up from my seat, but Darla reached out and grasped my wrist. "Just sit down," she whispered. "Try to relax. My wife is in there with other men, and you want me to relax?" I hissed. Darla merely tilted her head, a sly grin playing on her lips. She took another slow sip of champagne before setting her glass down and sliding one manicured finger along the rim. Then, with deliberate ease, she uncrossed her legs, letting the slit in her dress fall open just enough to expose the smooth curve of her thigh. "Well then," she murmured, eyes locked onto mine. "You want to get even?" Before I knew it, we were in the back seat of my car, tangled in a mess of anger, desire, and betrayal. The air was thick with the scent of perfume and guilt. By the time we returned to the ballroom, Claire and the others had reappeared, their expressions composed, their behavior nonchalant. She took her seat beside me, still glowing from the thrill of the evening. I smirked, knowing what she didn't. She glanced at me, puzzled. "What's that look for? Having fun out there?" I asked, my voice laced with sarcasm. Her smile faded slightly, replaced by mild confusion. "Richard was just giving us our year-end bonuses," she said, reaching into her clutch and pulling out an envelope. "Why?" I folded my arms. "Then what's the bracelet for?" She followed my gaze to her wrist, then let out a small chuckle. "Oh, this." She reached into her bag, pulling out another identical yellow bracelet. They're for the open bar, she explained, holding it out to me. We didn't get any when we came in. I froze. My gaze flickered to Darla, who raised her glass and smirked before turning back to her husband, seamlessly rejoining the conversation. Claire frowned. Are you mad about the date thing? I really thought I mentioned it. You can come if you want. It's not like I'm actually going to sleep with the guy. I swallowed hard, my mind spinning. What had I done?